Who gets a standing ovation from his teammates.
Well, anything to lighten the mood a little bit. There's no question the Cardinals missed their skipper. And Kyle Lohse doing his part to try to lighten the mood a little bit. Either that or Tony La Russa grew a goatee while he's been away from the team.
Lohse will not pitch in this series, as the Cubs take the field behind right-hander Casey Coleman. Now the Cardinals Southwest starting lineup. It's a different look today. Tony La Russa did write it up and sent it to his acting manager, Joe Patini. John Jay in right for Berkman. Alan Craig's played very little second base in his pro career. More on that coming up. Pujols, Holiday, Rasmus now hitting fifth. Molina back in there. Descalzo at third. Tyler Green spells Ryan Theriot at short, and Jaime Garcia will pitch.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively this afternoon. It'll be Soriano in left, Bird in center, Jeff Baker getting the nod in right field against the left-handed pitcher. Ramirez and Castro on the left side of the infield. Barney and Carlos Pena on the right side. Wellington Castillo getting his first start of the 2011 season behind the plate today. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher, right-hander Casey Coleman, looking for his second victory of the season. The high ERA due to a couple of bad starts very early on. He has pitched considerably better lately. We mentioned that start against Cincinnati Reds. He pitched into the seventh inning. He left the ball game with 2 runners on base. Unfortunately, they both came around to score, the only 2 runs that he allowed in that ball game.
Kerwin Danley's in his 15th year, Los Angeles native, and played at San Diego State with Tony Gwynn. He'll call balls and strikes. Nauert, Eddings, and DeMuth on the bases. Cardinals with a 1-game lead over Cincinnati in the Central. The Pirates are 3 back. The Cubs 4 out. Milwaukee 5. Houston 7.
Very favorable hitter's wind here at Wrigley Field, at least for the time being, blowing straight out to center field.
Left-handed hitting John Jay starts it, and Coleman deals strike 1. Jay has made starts at every outfield position as he bounces to Darwin Barney, and 1 away. '84 steamy degrees in the wind, as Bob mentioned, straight out to center. That means a southwest wind at 6. Here's Alan Craig, who got a crash course on playing second base. 1 previous inning in his major league career at second. Only 2 games in the minors, and it was double play 101 during batting practice. Joe Patini, former infielder, as manager. There's a base hit. Jose Oquendo, Ryan Theriot, all helping Craig try to work on that double play and the footwork.
And the acting manager, Joe Patini, told us before the ball game that don't be surprised in a potential double play situation if I flip-flop Tyler Green and Alan Craig to get the right guy in the right position. Craig with a solid ground ball through that left side of the infield past a diving Starlin Castro. That's one thing about the Tony La Russa Cardinals, and indirectly the Joe Patini Cardinals. They're not afraid to think outside the box.
Pujols has had a big series as he takes one outside for ball 1. 5 hits, including a double. He has walked, knocked in 2, and scored a run. Outside corner, 1-1 the count. That was a breaking ball from Coleman. Casey turns 24 on July 3rd. 6 feet 185. Very good athlete. Fields his position well. He can hit. But his main job is to get outs. Working with a A guy he's worked with many times before. Wellington Castillo gets his first start of the season. Giovanni Soto went on the DL before last night's game. It's 3-1 to Pujols.
And working with a catcher that he's had behind the plate before, Casey Coleman, that can eliminate some of the sticking points when you want to throw a particular pitch and have to shake and shake and shake to get to that pitch. The fact that Wellington Castillo has been behind the plate for a number of Casey starts at the minor league level and in spring training. If Casey happens to shake off the first pitch, Castillo usually knows right where he wants to go with the next one.
Well, I'm distracted now. Casey and shake, shake, shake. Here's a 3-1. If I have to describe the joke, it's not funny.
No. Well, Albert Pujols has been the boogeyman for the entire National League over the course of his career. Sunshine or not.
3-2. Craig takes off for second, and Pujols lines to Darwin Barney, and they double off. Alan Craig. Pujols hit it hard, but Barney was playing right behind second base as he was going to cover.
Is it really necessary to brew Coors Light down as low as 34 degrees? Does it really matter if every beer is filtered cold, aged cold, and packaged cold? Do the mountains really need to turn blue when your beer's as cold as the Rockies? Is Rocky Mountain cold refreshment really that important? You be the judge. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Edmunds.com says that Lexus holds its value better than any other luxury brand. IntelliChoice proclaims that Lexus has the best overall value of any brand. And J.D. Power and Associates ranks Lexus the highest in customer satisfaction. No wonder more people have chosen Lexus over any other luxury brand 11 years in a row. See your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
Winning the Stanley Cup takes teamwork, lots of it. So does fighting cancer. I'm Troy Brower, and I know what it's like when someone you love gets sick. You want to do all you can to help them get well. The American Cancer Society is a great teammate for anyone battling cancer. Their hands-on help is a real assist for patients and their families. If someone you love has cancer, call the American Cancer Society. Thanks to their team of supporters, all their help is free.
Cardinals failed to score in the top of the first. Now Mike Quaddy's Southwest starting lineup. Starlin Castro 4 for 4 last night. Big series. So instead of 6th or 7th, he's leading off. Barney and Bird are hitting in the 300s. Aramis Ramirez is near there at 295. Jeff Baker in right. Carlos Pena heating up. Alfonso Soriano's in left. Castillo making his 2011 debut, and the pitcher's Casey Coleman.
Quick look at the Cardinals defensively. Matt Holliday in left, Colby Rasmus in center, John Jay over in right field this afternoon. It'll be Daniel Descalso and Tyler Green on the left side of the infield. Alan Craig and Big Albert Pujols on the right side. Yadier Molina had the night off last night with the exception of that pinch hit at bat to end the game. He'll be behind the dish for left-hander Jaime Garcia. Perfect 4-0 record. Bookend complete game shutouts. His first start of the year and his last start of the year. Good two-seam fastball, a plus changeup. He'll use a cutter, an occasional curveball.
Doesn't throw particularly hard. His fastball around 90 miles an hour. But as you heard Todd Hollandsworth on the pregame show, all of his other pitches are excellent. Here's the 0-1 to Castro. That missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, we gave you the numbers for the Cubs this year versus left-handed pitching and against right-handed pitching. Garcia actually gives up a higher batting average to the lefties, a 294 average for left-handed hitters, 181 for right-handed hitters.
I would tell you, pretty good changeup.
That's usually what that means. The guy has a real good straight changeup that he can use to battle those right-handed hitters.
Well, both these guys last year, Garcia and Castro, finished among the leading vote getters in the Rookie of the Year race. Buster Posey beat out Jason Hayward. Kind of a tough year to be a rookie in the National League, considering all the great performances. 1-2 is bounced foul. See how they align around the diamond. Pretty straight up against Castro. And a called strike 3 on a 72-mile-an-hour curveball.
I think Garcia falls into that category of finesse lefties. Backdoor breaking ball right there on the outer third of the plate. We've talked about his really good straight changeup. His two-seam fastball has a little movement away from the righties. The cutter has a little movement into the righties.
Darwin Barney blooping into right, and a late break by Jay, but he makes the basket catch for the out.
I mentioned a little bit of a late start, but Jay with good speed out there in right field, able to make up the ground and make the catch about waist high, coming straight in.
Bob, I think you could argue last year's NL rookie class one of the best maybe of all time. Just looking at the leading vote getters, Posey edged out Hayward. Garcia won 13 games, had the 4th best ERA in the National League. He finished 3rd. Gabby Sanchez of the Florida Marlins knocked in 85 runs. He finished 4th. Starlin Castro 5th. Neil Walker. How about Ike Davis? 19 homers, 71 RBIs. He finished 7th, got 1% of the vote. A lot of years he would have won it. That's how good the rookies were last season. Garcia with a quick 1-2-3 first.
Join Menards this week in saluting our American-made products with Menards Made in the USA sale. Seal your roof with quality coatings from Seal Best. Made in Sandusky, Ohio. Choose from plastic roof cement for use on wet or dry surfaces, or fibered roof and foundation coating, $5.99 each. Seal Best driveway sealers are also made in Sandusky, Ohio. They provide UV protection, are easy to clean, and have no harsh odors. Seal Best 100 is only $8.98.
Save big money at Menards.
Get this season's ultimate Major League Baseball coverage with Xfinity, home of the most live sports. Catch up to 80 out-of-market games a week during the regular season, including all your favorite teams with MLB Extra Innings. See the biggest rivalries and brightest stars Major League Baseball has to offer. Switch to Xfinity and get digital preferred TV with over 160 cable channels for just $39.99 a month for 6 months. Plus, get MLB Extra Innings included at no additional cost. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Want to see all the action from the front row? Now you can with the CBOE Front Row Seats auction. Front row seats will be auctioned off to each game all season long. For more information, visit Cubs.com and click on the CBOE Front Row Seats auction. The best seats are always a click away.
Hey, this is Tom. How do you guys feel about our pitching rotation?
I got it.
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 Comcast Sportsnet fields your questions. Catch us on Sportsnet Central or CSNChicago.com. Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
I got it.
I got it. I got it.
Part of the reason we did this today was their familiarity. I mean, they've been together, they've seen each other in the minor leagues and so on and so forth, so that helps. He knows what Casey does best, and Casey's a thinking guy's pitcher too, so he has a pretty good idea what he wants to do, so maybe that takes a little pressure off of Welly. He spent a ton of time yesterday with Riggs, so that's basically what we talked about yesterday a little bit as far as his development and blueprinting hitters or opposing lineups and how to go about attacking them, and not only understanding how we want to do it, but then getting involved sequentially with stuff. It's a heck of a deal. Make the New York Times crossword puzzle look pretty easy sometimes. So those are the things that he'll work with, and I think this is a good mix today. We'll find out.
Well, I would say maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pretty easy, but the Times puzzle on Thursday starts to get pretty difficult. I don't even try the Saturday. I have no chance. Here's a 1-0 to Matt Holliday, who drives that ball deep to left, and the Cardinals get on the board. Before I could say, Holliday still leading the majors in batting average, but had not had a good series in the first 2 games. 5 strikeouts in his first 6 at-bats. Second career home run here at Wrigley in 25 games for Matt Holliday.
Yeah, it really looked like in the first 2 games of this series, Matt Holliday caught guessing a lot. This time a sinker that just didn't get in there far enough, stayed on that inside corner down around the knees, and Holliday golfs it out of here onto Waveland Avenue over the bleachers in left field.
Fourth homer allowed by Coleman. Cubs have now been out homered as Rasmus singles into center. 20-11 here at Wrigley Field. That's got to change. Now Yadier Molina, who has been getting a little more rest here early in the season. He'd play every game if the Cardinals let him. But they've got a pretty good backup now in Gerald Laird, who got the start last night.
Better than average speed on at first base with Colby Rasmus, and probably the best handler of the bat on this Cardinals roster at the plate.
And that's trouble. Fair ball for Molina. Rasmus is going to be stopped by Jose Oquendo. Did not want to take a chance with nobody out. That's a double for Molina.
Back-to-back first pitch hits. Colby Rasmus picking on the first pitch he saw, and Yadier Molina got a middle of the plate sinker and shot it down into that right field corner. They have to start mixing in a few breaking balls, possibly some change-ups on that first pitch. Rasmus got that stop sign by Jose Oquendo, the third base coach, very late after he had rounded the bag at third.
That actually brings up a point about the Cubs. Get to that here in a second, as Descalzo won the game with a big 2-run single late Monday. Jose Oquendo, a veteran third base coach. He's been doing it a very long time. Ivan De Jesus, who took over there late last year. Talking to Mike Quaddy today. The key at third base, and I think we saw Oquendo on this particular play, is Ivan's learning you still can wait maybe another second, half second or a second, which doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it's an eternity. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 strides for a runner. So sometimes just slowing down the game. And it's one thing I noticed about Mike Quaddy as a third base coach is he would wait as long as he possibly could to get the best read on what is going on in the outfield.
And certainly it depends on your personnel. Who is that runner coming around the bag at third? Some guys can stop quicker than others, but you're absolutely right. There's a certain timing to a play like the one that Molina just hit down into the right field corner. By the time Baker got to it and threw the ball back to the cutoff man, that's about the same time that third base coach has to make the judgment. But if you wait that extra tick to see if the cutoff man handles the ball properly, you still have time to throw up the stop sign. If the cutoff man has trouble with the relay or drops the ball or they overthrow the cutoff man, then you wave him on home.
Big out. Descalzo bounces out. Mike's been very happy with Ivan at third base and had no problem with the 2 sends last night, even though Ramirez and Fukudome were both thrown out. But there were issues with the runners too, and it's something the coaching staff will remind those guys. Pick up the coach. Don't look over your shoulder. They will intentionally walk Tyler Green and get to the pitcher Garcia. Last night the White Sox won in extra innings as Kevin Jepson of the Angels airmailed one as he was trying to intentionally walk a batter. That allowed the winning run to score.
Just the way you draw it up. I happened to be watching that game last night, and the Angels catcher Hank Conger, just like you normally do, like Castillo's doing right now. You stand up, you put your right arm out, you jump out behind the left-handed batter's box to catch the throw, and Jepson threw it directly over the plate, over everybody to the backstop.
So the bases are loaded. Here's Garcia. And then he takes a strike.
Garcia asking for a late timeout that time from Kerwin Daly and was not granted the timeout.
Our AT&T U-verse multi-view, as you see, no vacancy on the bases right now. And a base hit. Garcia comes through. Everybody advances one base. Rasmus in. Just the second hit of the year for Jaime Garcia. His third career RBI. It's 2-0 in the top of the order coming up.
Not a horrible pitch. Sinker that started on the outer third of the plate was working its way off of the outside corner, but somehow Garcia able to reach out there and pull that ball back to the right of second base to drive home a run. Cardinals with an early 2-0 lead. Mark Riggins, a pitching coach, going to pay a quick visit to Casey Coleman on the mound.
Talked about the Cubs starting staff. They've been a lot better lately. Matt Garza last night got his first home win as a Chicago Cub. His manager told him after the rain delay, essentially, you got 2 more innings. You're going to go 5 and that's it. They didn't want to take any chances after about an hour between innings for Garza. And he came out throwing 97 miles an hour. That stuff was as good as we've seen it all year after the rain delay. A ground ball at one of his infielders. Outside, it's 2-0.
And Len, we've talked a lot recently about the Cubs' lack of hitting with runners in scoring position and how you have to understand as a hitter that the pressure is on the pitcher. Well, right now the pressure is on Casey Coleman, but I'm sure Mark Riggins told him you're 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
Well, that pitch
that ain't it.
Was way up, and Jay hammered it into right. They'll get 2 on a double by Jay. Not the location Coleman wanted on a 2-0 pitch. 4-0.
It goes without saying, if you're trying to get a ground ball to get a double play and get out of the inning, you want to stay down around the knees and lower. That pitch up above the belt at the very top of the strike zone, and Jay's able to hook it down into that right field corner to drive home a couple of more.
I can't remember a pitch like that his entire start against the Cincinnati Reds. He was hitting his spots all day. Second and third, it's Alan Craig. Swing and a miss. Casey would be the first guy to tell you that, you know, his stuff's not overpowering. He has to be able to place the ball where he needs to. He's not going to miss a lot of bats just because of his stuff. Baker and right. This should get Garcia in. The throw is going to go to second base as both guys able to tag. Throw gets by, and Jay is going to hold at third as Coleman backed it up. A sac fly for Craig, and it's 5-0.
Continues to blow out to center field. This ball carried a lot further than it looked like it was going to off of the bat. Craig hit it right off the very end of the wood. Jeff Baker backs up, tries to get as much on that throw back to the infield. Barney rushes his throw on to Ramirez, but fortunately Casey Coleman right there to back it up and hold that runner at third base.
That's low. It's 2-0. Well, you got 2 bases open. You could say just walk him, but you got Matt Holliday on deck, and he homered to lead off the inning. Good sinker for a strike. 2-1. Up in the air, it is Marlon Byrd with just enough room on the warning track, and that'll end the inning. They sent all 9 to the plate, 5 scored, and the Cardinals have the early lead.
Our planes start flying when it's dark.
And they don't stop flying until it's dark again. Flying all day, every day.
You deserve our best.
That's why there's so many flight options.
Southwest has new flights to Newark, so you can fly nonstop to the New York area 11 times a day via LaGuardia or Newark.
Hey, we're on your schedule, not ours. There'll be another one back here in a second. Just watch. What I tell you, there's another one.
Look outside. It's grow time. So let's plant some perennials that'll turn up every year. Trees and shrubs to give us depth. And fill it out with flowers placed in just the perfect place. Let's spend less, but plant more. What do you say we plant a weekend, water it, and watch a summer spring up? More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. We're lowering the cost of well-grounded plants with Miracle Grow Garden Soil for just $4.77.
I know what you're thinking. Leather-trimmed command center. Almost 300 horsepower. Infinity surround sound. Seating for 7. Wait, this is a minivan? Makes you almost want to have kids. Almost. The new 2011 Dodge Grand Caravan.
For the first time ever, get 0% APR for 60 months or $2,000 cash allowance on select 2011 Grand Caravan models.
The new Bud Light Bleachers Series provides fans with exciting new opportunities in the Bud Light Bleachers this season, including free T-shirt Mondays, $3 12-ounce draft Bud and Bud Light Tuesdays, and $1 Vienna Beef Hot Dog Wednesdays. Tuesday special also available in select locations in the Seating Bowl. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Long way to go, but a tall mountain to climb against one of the best in the league to this point, Jaime Garcia. Without a loss, a sub-2 ERA, and he has a 5-0 lead. In fact, he knocked in a run and scored a run in that 5-run top of the second.
I mentioned Garcia with bookend complete game shutouts. He opened the season against the San Diego Padres going 9 innings, gave up only 4 hits. One of 8 shutouts against the Padres this year in their first 37 games. And then last time out, Garcia against the Milwaukee Brewers. 9 innings, gave up only the 2 base hits, shut him out on 8 strikeouts.
And he was perfect into the 8th. Will fly back to the Dominican Republic to attend a family matter tomorrow and is expected back on Saturday, so he will miss the first game of the upcoming series with San Francisco. Pretty good chance Jeff Baker will get in there. Maybe Blake DeWitt, we'll see tomorrow, although it is a lefty, Madison Bumgarner, so I think Jeff Baker will be at third. He's in right today for Kosuke, and here comes Baker with 1 out. Sharply hit on the ground, and Craig simply slowed it down. We'll see how they score it. Baker is aboard.
All right, once again, referring back to the numbers versus left-handed pitching and right-handed pitching, Jeff Baker, as usual, just wearing out lefties this year. Had a .464 average against lefties coming into play today, and I believe that'll be ruled an infield hit, so that'll go up even more.
Thanks to Carlos Pena for chatting with our Luke Stuckmeyer on Cubs pregame live. That outing for Garcia against Milwaukee on Friday, as that's up in the air too much, in fact, for Rasmus, who had to reach up, make the catch. That gave the center fielder plenty of time to get under it. 2 down. Bobby said his bullpen did not go well. And then he goes out and is perfect into the 8th inning. That does happen sometimes.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times guys will go down to the bullpen to warm up before a ball game and leave the bullpen thinking they're not even going to get through the first inning, but somewhere between the bullpen mound and the game mound they find it, or vice versa. You might feel like a world beater in the bullpen and go out there to the game mound and suddenly everything deserts you. Now, warm-ups are not a real solid indicator of how you're going to pitch in your next time out on the mound.
Seen Jeff Baker here lately go with a different look, with the pant bottoms hiked up above the calves. Usually has them down around his feet. But actually, when Jeff comes out for batting practice, he normally pulls the pant bottoms all the way up over his knees, almost like he's wearing long shorts. I don't think he's going to try that during the game. Soriano, nice job to wait back on the curveball. Follow all of today's stats and info in real time with Cubs in-game live only at csnchicago.com, brought to you by Honda. Now a guy who barely made it out during spring training. Wellington Castillo. He hit .632 in the Cactus League, 12 for 19. Battled a finger injury, which is still not 100%. It may not be all year. And because of that injury, he actually started the year as the DH in the Florida State League with Daytona before heading to Iowa.
And in Iowa, he wore out left-handed pitching. A .400 batting average against lefties down at AAA Iowa. Kind of doubt if he saw anybody quite to the level of Jaime Garcia down there, but good track record against the lefties.
The kick and the 1-1. A strike 1 and 2. Garcia was born in Reynosa, Mexico. Went to Sharyland High School in Mission, Texas. He doesn't even lead the Cardinals in wins. Kyle McClellan is 5-0. Cubs avoided him in this series. Swing and a miss. That will end the inning as the Cubs leave a couple. And at the end of 2, it's 5-0 Cardinals.
For specialty marked packages of Corona and Corona Light. Find a custom wrapped Corona bottle or can inside, and you could win the trip of a lifetime.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Do you have old silver and gold coins, old currency? How about broken or unwanted gold or silver jewelry? Let Quad City Coin turn it all into extra cash. Don't send your valuable items out of state to someone you'll never meet. Bring them to Quad City Coin. We've been paying top dollar for your items for over 3 decades. Visit our website, qccoin.com, or come see us at 2395 Tech Drive in Bettendorf. Quad City Coin. So easy, anyone can do it.
You can depend on the staff at Ace Muffler Clinic in Rock Island to keep your car running its best. We've got the expertise and we'll get you taken care of now. Call Ace Muffler Clinic for any problem with your vehicle. Our free estimates give you the information you need to keep your vehicle running smooth and safe. For your convenience, we're open 7 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 7 to 12 on Saturday. For brakes, tires, exhaust, and shocks, and a whole lot more, see us for fast, friendly service on all import and domestic vehicles. Serving the Quad Cities since 1955, Ace Muffler Clinic in Rock Island.
Bob, a big group of Cub fans just trying to blend in today. Pretty good seats near the Cubs dugout. Great to have with us in the booth Cubs board member Todd Ricketts, who is an avid bicyclist, and a nice ride today as the Wrigley Field Road Tour celebrating its 1-year mark. How you doing, Todd?
Thanks for having me up here. Can you imagine we actually had red shirts ordered, and I'm like, holy cow, we're playing the Cardinals. we got to switch our color up so we can stand out.
How long was the ride today?
We just rode 12 miles this morning just to get down to the game and really draw some attention to the ride we're going to do in August, on August 27th.
You started in Wilmette today. How did you get down here from Wilmette, as Matt Holliday will lead off?
We just came down Sheridan and then rode along the bike front to Irving Park, where we regathered and moved over.
Nice day to do it. A little humid, but warm, and we like that.
We thought we were going to be wet, but we were able to get through it.
Holliday turns on one, and that will be foul. And prior to the game today, Cubs honored Alex Grant, the top fundraiser from the ride to Milwaukee on September 11th of last year. $125,000 raised at the September ride to support Cubs charities, World Bicycle Relief, and the Brewers Community Foundation, and another ride to Milwaukee coming up later this summer.
That's right. So Specialized donated the bike frame, and Schramm donated the rest of the parts, and we built him a very nice bike that would probably cost about $10,000 in a regular bike shop, and he's very happy sitting down there with his wife in the front row today.
Holliday taps that one actually off his front foot.
Do you think he's happier about the new bike or the fact he's sitting in the front row at a ball game here at Wrigley?
I'm going to say 50-50 at this moment. I think he was surprised at how good the seats were. So those are nice places to be.
Todd, tell us about World Bicycle Relief.
Well, interestingly, I just got back from Zambia, where I was out visiting our operations there. And we went to a school where we gave out 100 bikes to kids who were kind of at risk for dropping out and lived more than 5 kilometers from their school. One of the little girls, who was like 9 years old, we rode home with her 9 kilometers on a single track dirt through the elephant grass to her house, and then we had a little drink with her parents and talked about how the bike is going to help her be able to leave for school in daylight, which is pretty big. Before, when she was walking, she'd have to leave in the dark, and she'd be coming home in the dark. So this is going to be nice for her to be able to stay home, wait for the daylight to come, get to school in a timely manner.
It's a leadoff walk as Holliday is on. How long were you in Zambia?
Just 1 week. We were out there visiting. There's really 3 things that we do. It's the bikes to kids who are at risk of dropping out of school, like Sabosa, who I mentioned, to health caregivers who in their rural areas will visit people who have AIDS and make sure they have their medicine and that they have water and they have food. And then also we do a microfinance deal for entrepreneurs starting a business where a bike can be helpful.
This is Colby Rasmus, and that tapper will be foul. You can go to worldbicyclerelief.org for more information on the organization, but also the registration for the August ride. 100 miles. It'll start here at Wrigley Field on August 27th. And we'll finish at Miller Park, where the Cubs take on the Milwaukee Brewers.
And we had a great time last year. I can't imagine it's going to be any different this year. So I encourage people to get there, get signed up. The food was great. We had Harry Carey's doing the food last year. We have a lot of water stops and a lot of fun. So yeah, worldbicyclerelief.org if they can get in there and register. It's going to be full pretty soon.
1-1 to Rasmus. Holiday walked to start this third inning.
I know you probably know this already, Todd, but a number of the Cubs players that live, near the ballpark ride their bikes to the ballpark every day. A couple of years ago, Ted Lilly and Ryan Dempster rode their bikes down to U.S. Cellular Field when the Cubs were playing the Sox. So I'm sure the players, if they weren't busy that day, they'd love to join your ride to Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's right. It's a little easier to ride your bike a little ways than get out there and throw a ball or swing a bat. You know, we sent a delegation to Major League Baseball this morning to see if we could get a 53-minute intermission in all of our games in the third inning and come back out and score 6-7 runs. That was nice to see that. So maybe that's what we need. We just need a little break every game in the third.
Well, it was nice to have a laugher. Cubs have played so many close ones to start the season.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's running out of blood pressure medicine at this point. So we need to win some games.
And another 3-2 count for Casey Coleman to start this inning. Holiday with a short lead at first. Molina's on deck. And Holiday takes off, and that one's popped into left center for Marlon Byrd.
There we go.
He makes a catch.
So I'm going to pitch you guys again. Are you guys going to come join us this year? You can call in sick. Well, you want me to clear it with your boss?
We're in Milwaukee. So I'll tell you what, I'll get in a cab and I'll just kind of track the group. I would love to do it. I really would love to do it. And, 100 miles sounds like a lot, but you are riding a bike. It's not like you're walking 100 miles.
That's right. And it does sound like a lot, but once you get on your bike and you start pedaling, you realize that, 100 miles is very doable for any person who's in average conditioning.
That's where you lost me.
I don't believe that. I bet you. Look at that. Look at that slim, trim guy over here. You could do it tomorrow in your sleep.
I have some really good friends who are uber intense about their cycling, and when you're really into it, you add up your miles. Now, are you that into it where you know every year how many miles you ride?
No, it would just be another disappointment for me, so I just try to ignore that. But yeah, a lot of these guys, they want to make sure they get 5,000 or 8,000 miles a year, and they keep track of it. But I'm not quite there.
Coleman behind another Cardinal hitter, 2-0 on Yadier Molina. Todd, we enjoyed our conversation with Pete Vanaken last night. Honored for 25 great years of service to baseball, and many of those years in the Cubs organization, and I thought it was a great thing the Cubs organization did for Pete.
Oh yeah, he'd need to be here for a whole game to hear all of his stories, right?
Oh, just
he'd go on all night.
Oh yeah,
sharp as a tack. He went down memory lane with us. 3-0 to Molina, and you were also here 2 nights ago, and the players from both teams born in the Dominican Republic were on.
Yeah, that was a good time. It was nice. We had the general counsel from the Dominican Republic here, and she's been wanting to do something at Wrigley for a while to recognize the Dominican players. And, we pull a lot of players out of there. We're building a new academy down in the Dominican. It's an important place for us, especially as we look to grow from within. And, I think it's going to be important in the future.
Third 3-2 count for Casey Coleman, who's had to work very hard today. Did you even break a sweat today?
It's a little humid, so yeah, we got a little bit of a sweat, but only because of the humidity.
There goes again.
There we go. Come on.
They'll get 1. They will get 2.
That's what we needed.
Todd, thanks for stopping by. We'll continue to talk about this big ride August 27th for Chicago Cubs Charities and World Bicycle Relief. Enjoy the rest of the ballgame. Let's hope the Cubs can come back.
All right. Thanks a lot for having me, guys.
Thanks, Todd.
Good to see you.
Thanks,
Good to see
you, Bob. Here's to the pursuit. The pursuit of better. Faster. Cleaner. Funner. Here's to the pursuit of advancements that help make new engines possible and dreams a reality. Here's to the pursuit of another 100 years of earning America's trust. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Are you going to the game or looking for a place to watch it? The Captain Morgan Club on Addison and Sheffield is calling your name. Open year-round with 30 flat-screen TVs and an outdoor patio. Come to the Captain Morgan Club to watch the Cubs and every sporting event. Tickets or no tickets, we're calling all captains.
Chili's $20 dinner for two is here all day, every day. Share one appetizer, then choose 2 entrees from 14 of Chili's favorites, like our slow-smoked tender baby back ribs. The $20 dinner for two, now part of our menu every day at Chili's.
Savings and value is what Toyota does best. After all, Toyota is the most fuel-efficient full-line auto manufacturer in the industry. And we have the lowest ownership cost of any full-line car brand. And right now, get great deals on an incredible selection of vehicles, like the 2011 Camry. Get 1.9% financing for 60 months, or lease one for just $225 a month. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
Tomorrow, the Cubs take on last year's World Series champs in a day game at Wrigley. Coverage begins at 12:30 with Chevy Cubs pregame live. Don't miss Cubs Giants tomorrow at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Tonight, recap Game 6 of the Bulls-Hawks playoff series with BMW Bulls post-game live on Comcast Sportsnet. After tonight's game, get highlights and analysis from Kendall Gill, Mark Shanowski, and the always entertaining Stacey King. And head to csnchicago.com to chat live with the Bulls PGL hosts each game. I will add Kendall Gill and Mark Shanowski are always entertaining, but I guess in Stacey's case, it's capital letters.
Yeah.
We enjoyed our chat with Stacey as he I wouldn't say butchered the 7th inning stretch, but he thought it was going to be a little easier than it was. Let's put it that way. Casey Coleman down in the count 0-2. Bulls not looking ahead, but if they win that series, they'll take on the Miami Heat. Garcia able to flag it down with that Cardinal red glove.
Well, what a nifty double play to get Casey Coleman out of a potential jam in that 3rd inning. Kind of a late feed by Darwin Barney on the backhand, but Starlin Castro with great footwork. Tremendous arm angle that time, way down from sidearm, and puts his throw to Carlos Pena right on the money. I mean, just to have the physical ability to have your feet going one direction and your upper body going a different direction and still make an accurate throw to complete the double play. Just a tremendous play by the youngster.
Took a called 3rd strike in the 1st inning. That's a fair ball, bounced past Descalzo into the corner and left. And a stand-up double. Cubs' 3rd hit, first extra base hit today.
Descalzo playing in to protect against a bunt, a possible bunt by Starlin Castro. I don't know if we've seen Starlin Castro try to bunt for a base hit yet this year, but Descalzo playing in front of the baseline, and Castro able to bounce it right past him down into that left field corner.
I think we should follow up on our conversation about Darwin Barney with the backflips. We did talk to Keith Moreland today about his cartwheel after a long home run drought as a San Diego Padre. Late in his career, he hit a home run at Candlestick Park. You were behind the plate. Barney skies into center when pushing that ball back toward the wall as Castro will tag. Rasmus' throw is offline. Runner at 3rd, 2 outs. So I guess John Kruk, Randy Reddy were out with Zonk enjoying maybe a beverage or two the night before, and John Kruk said, you know what, Zonk, you hit a home run, you ought to do a cartwheel. And Keith said, I'll do it. Sure enough, first at bat, first pitch, fastball from Trevor Wilson, right?
Yeah, left-hander Trevor Wilson.
Home run. So he did the cartwheel, and he knew he was going to get drilled in his next at bat. And what did he tell you?
He came up to the plate and he said, just tell him don't hit me in the head. He knew he was going to get drilled. He just didn't want to take it off the helmet. And he got in the middle of the back and just ran on down to first base.
And you may remember, I mean, it was over 20 years ago, but that cartwheel made This Week in Baseball, all the rain delay blooper reels for many, many years.
Well, I guess if you promise your teammates you're going to do it the night before, you got to follow through, even knowing what the consequences are going to be.
To Bird. There's a 12-game hitting streak, but he has grounded out twice to third. An 8-pitch inning for Garcia. Cubs strand a man at third, still 5-0.
Dave Matthews Band Caravan, a 3-day festival and the only way to see DMV this summer. Dave Matthews Band Caravan's Midwest stop at Chicago's beautiful Lakeside, July 8th through 10th. With David Gray, Ray LaMontagne, OAR, Kid Cudi, and many more, headlined by a full DMV set each night. Join the caravan in Chicago, July 8th through 10th. Single-day tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at dmbcaravan.com.
Your advertising mail campaign's paying off. Business is good. Must be if you're doing all that overnight shipping. That must cost a fortune. It sure does. Well, if it doesn't have to get there overnight, you could save a lot with Priority Mail flat rate envelopes. One flat rate to any state, just $4.95.
That's cool and all, but it ain't my money. I seriously do not care.
So you don't care what anyone says. You want to save this company money.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Priority Mail flat rate envelopes, just $4.95, only from the Postal Service, a simpler way to ship. If you don't have an iPhone, you don't have the Retina display, the highest resolution screen on any phone. So movies aren't this dramatic. Maps aren't this clear. Emails aren't this detailed. And memories aren't this memorable. Yep, if you don't have an iPhone, well, you don't have an iPhone.
Enter the Northsiders Take on Beantown sweepstakes from Southwest Airlines and Comcast Sportsnet. Win round-trip airfare, hotel, and tickets to see the Northsiders Take on Beantown. To enter, visit csnchicago.com. You can now enjoy nonstop Southwest flights from Chicago to Boston. Book at southwest.com.
The fourth inning is brought to you by KFC. Feed 4 or more with a KFC 10-piece family feast, just $20. Bottom 3 now for St. Louis. Descalzo, Green, and Garcia. Hard ball hit foul. What's going on in Cleveland? All of a sudden, the Indians have lost 2 in a row at home. Tampa Bay beat them today 7-4. Justin Masterson took his first loss. James Shields got the win. Barney gloves and gets it to Pena in time for the out. Descalzo 0 for 2. Time now for our AT&T trivia question. Who has led the National League in singles in each of the last 3 seasons? I know the answer to this.
I think I know the answer to this, which would be shocking. That'd make 2 in a row.
Yeah. I think some Cub fans would be a little surprised to know this. We will give you a hint. He is not in either lineup today. Tyler Green lines out to Marlon Byrd. And there's another hint. Two quick outs. Here's the pitcher, Garcia. Maybe the biggest at bat of the day so far. An RBI single in the second, in the middle of that 5-run rally. with that exaggerated hip turn as he gets ready to deliver the pitch. And just a little more deception, hiding the ball for a fraction of a second longer than normal. 2-1.
I'll tell you what, Len, you mentioned that Garcia was only 1 for 16 before that base hit in the second inning to drive home a couple of teammates, but he looks pretty hitterish in that batter's box. He looks like he knows what he's doing.
And a lot of times, 16 at bats, pretty small sample size. Came in as a career 155 hitter. Not sure where it was, but according to Kerwin Danley, not a strike.
Meet the Team, Have a Ball, presented by Bank of America's on Wednesday, May 25th at 2:30. Collect autographs on an authentic MLB baseball from the 2011 Cubs players and coaches in attendance. Limited tickets are available for $300 each. Proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Ball gets under the glove of Darwin Barney. Should be a hit for John Jay. That ball was crushed.
If you want tickets to Meet the Team, Have a Ball, visit Cubs.com or call 773-404-CUBS. Hooking and sinking as it got out there to Darwin Barney. Just tried to smother it against the ground. It got right through his glove into shallow right field.
It is a hit for Jay. And a breaking ball missed to Alan Craig, ball 1. Sac fly for Craig in the second, a single back in the first. No pun intended, but one of the Cardinals' sins of pitching in the National League is walking the pitcher. That extended the inning as Justin Berg is now up in the home bullpen. 3-0 with Pujols on deck. Mark Riggins back out for the second time today.
I'll tell you what, Len, more than any other pitcher on this Cubs staff, Casey Coleman is a guy that needs to get the borderline calls from the home plate umpire. And several of his starts this year, he just has not had that luxury, including today with Kerwin Danley behind the plate. On that walk to Jaime Garcia, 2 of the pitches that were called balls in the sequence on pitch tracks appeared to be in the strike zone. And we talked about it early on in the game. Casey's not the kind of pitcher that can just throw balls over the heart of the plate and expect to have any success whatsoever. He's got to work the edges of the plate, up and down, in and out. And when he throws that pitch on the borders of the strike zone, he needs to get the call to be effective.
Sinker is in there. It's now 3-1. Loaded up for Pujols. I suppose we have to reference it since many writers have decided to write at length about it. I don't see anything in it, but Albert Pujols with a warm greeting for Cubs general manager Jim Hendry. They hugged briefly. They've known each other a long time. Jim, as we both know, is one of the friendliest general managers in baseball. But because of all the speculation about Albert becoming a free agent, there was speculation about the hug. What did they talk about? The answer is, how you doing? How's your family? Nice to see you. End of story. But it's the Cardinals and Cubs, so got to write about something. They leave them loaded. Pujols is 0 for 3. That's the good news. The bad news for Casey Coleman and the Cubs is it's 5-0 St. Louis.
Final boarding call for flight 217. This is the final boarding call for flight 217, gate 12.
Hi, folks. Sorry for the delay. Looks like we're going to be here at least 15 minutes.
Hello, Jimmy John's?
Someone order Jimmy John's?
Jimmy John's, freaky fast delivery.
When my doctor told me I had cancer and I didn't know which way to turn, you were there.
When I needed to get to my treatment, you were there.
When I lost my hair and needed to look like myself again.
When insurance problems threatened her care.
When their needs went beyond medical help.
You were there.
If you or someone you love has cancer, turn to the American Cancer Society. All their help is free.
Why am I still here? Because you were there.
Get this season's ultimate Major League Baseball coverage with Xfinity, home of the most live sports. Catch up to 80 out-of-market games a week during the regular season, including all your favorite teams with MLB Extra Innings. See the biggest rivalries and brightest stars Major League Baseball has to offer. Switch to Xfinity and get digital preferred TV with over 160 cable channels for just $39.99 a month for 6 months. Plus, get MLB Extra Innings included at no additional cost. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Hey.
Great work as always by the Menards grounds crew. A little easier day for them than last night when they had to get the tarp on the field as quickly as possible during a torrential downpour. Let's answer the AT&T trivia question. Who has been the NL leader in singles each of the last 3 years? Ryan Theriot. Big surprise, known as a singles hitter, although he kind of muscled up a couple of years ago and had a nice stretch of like 6 or 7 home runs in a month or something, and kind of got away from what he does best, which is to shoot the ball the other way.
Yeah, if you've got Ryan Theriot hitting the ball in the air, trying to hit it out of the ballpark, yeah, you're probably going to get him out fairly easily. But when he stays with his game plan, drives the ball up the middle of the field into the opposite field, he can rack up the base hits.
Ramirez lines one foul.
Well, we've talked on and on about the success that Garcia has had in the early going this season, and what you really need to do is look at what he has done against the opposition's middle of their lineup. I mean, general consensus is your number 3 hitter is your best hitter in your lineup. He's held number 3 hitters in the National League to an .095 batting average, 8 strikeouts per every walk. He's held the number 4 hitters to a 150 average with no extra base hits, and the number 5 hitters against Garcia batting a paltry 154.
Tim Lincecum will start for the Giants on Sunday against the Cubs. Not sure about Buster Posey. He got taken out last night against the Diamondbacks after taking consecutive foul balls off his mask. They had to do some concussion tests, and I guess he passed those tests. It sounds like he's not going to play today. Giants have won 5 in a row. They're in a virtual tie with the Rockies atop the National League West. Rockies and Mets, all kinds of weather problems this week. They're in a delay at Coors Field. How about Texas last night? You see the Rangers were up 7-0 over the Oakland A's in the 4th inning when they were delayed by rain, and they never did get started again, so everything's washed out. Mitch Moreland's first career grand slam doesn't count. Jay calling off Rasmus.
Time to take a look at our Coors Light freeze cam. The Cubs offense wasn't the only highlight here at Wrigley last night. An unbelievable light show with the lightning out over the lake beyond the scoreboard in center field. Just an absolutely beautiful yet terrifying sight. Freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Eastern sky dealing with varicose veins last night, so to speak.
I guess that's one way to put it. Well, it was spectacular from our vantage point up here in the press box high above Wrigley Field. We could see out over the lake, the outlying Wrigleyville community here. That lightning was everywhere.
Jeff Baker's 2 for 2.
Baker continues to wear out lefties, including one of the best in the league. Takes that fastball right back up the middle of the field for his second hit of the game.
Pena flied to the warning track in the 2nd inning. Ball caught by Rasmus. And hits a double play ball right to Craig. They turn it 4-6-3. And just like that, the 4th inning is over. 5-0 St. Louis.
With Luna, we get our second room free plus free financing.
Now I'm free. Free flooring.
It's time to love your floors. Luna's free flooring sale won't last. Call today.
773-202. Luna.
Saturday on Comcast Sportsnet Plus, the Chicago Fire look to put the burn on Toronto FC. Tune in for MLS action live from Toronto. The Fire battle Toronto FC, Saturday night at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet Plus, fans' best friend.
Do you have old silver and gold coins? Old currency? How about broken or unwanted gold or silver jewelry? Let Quad City Coin turn it all into extra cash. Don't send your valuable items out of state to someone you'll never meet. Bring them to Quad City Coin. We've been paying top dollar for your items for over 3 decades. Visit our website, qccoin.com, or come see us at 2395 Tech Drive in Bettendorf. Quad City Coin. So easy, anyone can do it.
Comcast Sportsnet, now part of the NBC Sports Group.
Hey fans, text footlong to 29653. If you're the 500th texter, you could win 5 $5 footlong subs from Subway.
Hot and humid today. I love Winnie Cooper. The Wonder Years. Remember that show? Who didn't love Winnie Cooper?
I thought it said Minnie Cooper there for a while.
Matt Holliday has homered and walked. 5-run second as the Cardinals sent all 9 to the plate. And that's where we stand here in the 5th. Get in on that Subway deal.
I had a troll doll when I was a kid that had hair kind of like that.
Stuck his finger in a light socket before coming to the ballpark.
Beards everywhere today, huh?
Yeah. Sharp-dressed man there. I don't know if it's true. I was told once that Arnie Harris had a shot of ZZ Top. I'm not quite sure where they were sitting in the ballpark, but Harry said, "Who is that, Arnie?" ZZ Top? I thought those guys were selling cough drops. 2-2 to Holiday. Well, even if Harry didn't say it, it sounds like something Harry would have said.
Yes, it does.
Yes. Fly ball out into left center. Bird has to leap, and he makes a catch into the vines.
Boy, every fly ball today to the middle of the field, you have to hold your breath. That time Marlon Byrd tracked it all the way to the warning track, knew he was getting close to the vines, times his leap perfectly, taking extra bases away from Matt Holliday.
As we check out the look, we see some of the ivy finally growing in.
Yeah, Mike Quaddy was talking about it before the ball game today. He said it seems like it got greener during the game last night. He said he didn't think there were that many green leaves on the ivy when the game started last night, but by the time the ball game was over and all that rain had fallen on the field, he said it looked like a lot more green. Of course, by the time we get back off the next road trip, it'll be in its full glory.
Rasmus cranks one to deep right. Baker will have to go get it right at the base of the wall, and for Rasmus, his second hit today. Well, we've talked about this. For a team to contend and be consistent, you want to win as many series as you can. And for the Cardinals, they got off to a slow start. They lost their first 3 series. They were 2-6 after 8. But they have not lost a series in a month. 8 consecutive series without a series loss. Rubber game today, and they lead 5-0 in the 5th.
Of course, every team's goal is to sweep a series, but if you can just continue to win series throughout the season, I've said it many, many times, you'll look up in September and be right where you want to be. I mean, occasionally you just have to tip your cap. The other team has good players too, and on a given day, a pitcher can jump up and twirl a gem. Some of their hitters can do some serious damage.
Molina with a base hit. Rasmus in. 6-0.
Yadier Molina, boy, he does a lot of damage. Certainly Albert Pujols, Matt Holliday, More recently, Lance Berkman get a lot of credit for the offensive success of this Cardinals ball club. But if you look back over the years, the guy that's usually right in the middle of all of it is their catcher, Yadier Molina. Stalling tactic here by Wellington Castillo. Took his time to walk out to the mound with Casey Coleman, now taking his time walking back. Mike Quade will probably take a long walk out to the mound to probably give James Russell an opportunity to throw a few more warm-up pitches.
We'll wait until Kerwin Danley tells him, what are you going to do here, Skip? It's going to be James Russell. The Honda call to the pen. Tough day for Casey Coleman. 6-0 Cardinals in the 5th.
Need an oil change? Don't worry. Call your CarX man. Cars or trucks, basic or deluxe.
We know the oil that's right for your car.
Now get a full-service oil change from $19.99. $19.99 for everything in, on, or under your car. It's CarX.
Chicago, once a land of trails and rivers, now a vital world-class city. At Bank of America, we live and work here with thousands of employees, hundreds of branches, and hundreds of ATMs. Every day, we're working to help set opportunity in motion, from supporting the Cubs and the Chicago Symphony Orchestra to local businesses that drive our economy. Because when you're giving, lending, and investing in more communities across the country, more opportunities happen.
Hi.
Hon, we still on for dinner?
Oh, I can't. You know I've got the bar exam.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. Okay, one more time. This bar means the Coors Light is cold, and this bar, the Coors Light is super cold. Congrats, you just passed the bar exam.
Introducing new Super Cold Activation from Coors Light. With 2 stages, you'll know when your beer goes from cold to super cold.
So you're a lawyer?
Huh? No. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Would somebody please give me some good news?
Right now at Feldco, buy one window, get one free.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Get brakes for life at CarX. Domestic or foreign, old or new.
We have the best brake guarantee in the business.
Now save $50 on 4-wheel brake service plus free brake inspections every day. For everything in, on, or under your car, it's CarX.
Honda call to the pen, and it's left-hander James Russell in relief of Casey Coleman. Struggled as a starter back in the Cubs bullpen. Doug Davis will get the next start in that spot on Saturday against the Giants. And Bob, before we continue, we want to pass along our sympathies to the family of Daryl Hawks, sports anchor at NBC 5 here in Chicago, was found dead in his hotel room covering the Bulls in Atlanta today. Daryl, good guy, excellent reporter and anchor, just 38 years old, and we're thinking about his family today. One ball, no strikes on Descalzo.
In both of his first 2 at-bats, Descalzo reached out over the plate and tried to pull an outside pitch back to the right side of the field. One a 3 unassisted to Carlos Pena, another ground ball to Darwin Barney for an out.
Descalzo couldn't hold up. 1-1.
referred to the man hug between Albert Pujols and Jim Hendry a little while ago, and that sparked a wildfire of speculation. Well, I got some breaking news too. I saw Jim Hendry talking to Ronnie Woo Woo Vickers out in the parking lot earlier. When you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. He's already got his own uniform. He's right at home here at Wrigley Field. The fans love him. He knows what it means to be a Cub. I think there's something there.
Two and two.
You know what's funny, Len, is all the way back to spring training, Jim Hendry said, I know the first time we see the Cardinals, I can tell you what's going to happen. Because at that time, the Cardinals and Albert Pujols and his agent had broken off negotiations. They said they weren't going to talk about it during the season. And Jim anticipated the firestorm that was going to happen the first time he saw Albert. They've been friends for a long time. As you said, probably zero or very little baseball talk was exchanged between the two, and Jim was right on the money about that going all the way back to spring training.
And he said, I'm not going to change. I'm going to treat everybody, including Albert Pujols, the way I would normally. Still 2-2 to Descalzo. Runner goes, and a fly to right. Molina never quite did get to second base as he slides back in safely. Stroll through the home of the Chicago Cubs, get an insider's look at more than 97 years of history in this legendary ballpark. Guided tours may include visits to the press box, clubhouses, and dugouts, as well as a chance to actually step on the field. For more info or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Tour sizes are limited and sell out fast, so get your tickets today. One last thing. I think the most legitimate angle in terms of talking about what happened the other night would be from Pujols' perspective. I don't think it hurts his case or his cause in terms of getting a new huge contract to see him just talking to somebody with another team. That can't hurt him at all.
I would think he would talk to every general manager all summer long.
Why not?
I mean, not like Albert needs to create a market for his talents, but just to keep those rumor mills churning.
The market will be somewhat limited for him just because of the amount of money he will command.
Also the financial issues for at least a couple of the franchises that generally get involved in big time free agent bidding.
But that's to be determined after the season as Tyler Green takes the walk.
Not an easy thing to do. Only the second walk for Tyler Green all season. Second unintentional walk.
Strike to Garcia. Knee buckling curve from Russell, 0-2. Fly for Alfonso Soriano as he one-hands it, and that's the inning. They get one run off the starter, Casey Coleman. Cubs into their bullpen now for the rest of the day. 6-0 Cards.
These guys back here keep our airplanes flying efficiently and frequently.
Wheels up, wheels down. We keep these planes going to keep you going.
Southwest Airlines has over 3,000 flights a day. We split that between us.
Southwest has new flights to Newark, so you can fly nonstop to the New York area 11 times a day via LaGuardia or Newark.
These boys keep that Boeing going.
We want our customers safe and happy.
That's going to go right in your glove. Oh, see that? Great job. Okay, now let's get ready for the ball. Here it comes. There you go. Good catch. Perfect. All right, now for the best part. Let's see your pour. Ooh, let's get those in the bowl. These are way too good to waste, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go for it. Around the bowl.
Share what you love with who you love. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
They're great. Good catch, Dad.
Got it. Don't be the last to know. Get it faster with 4G. It's the network of possibilities. AT&T.
Hi, I'm David Kaplan here with a Coors Light Cold Blast. Sportsnet Central update. The Bulls can advance to the Eastern Conference Finals with a win over the Hawks tonight in Game 6 in Atlanta. Chicago Tribune Live at Sportsnet Central will preview the action. When the game goes final, switch over to Comcast Sportsnet from BMW Bulls postgame live with Mark, Kendall, and Stacy. Right now, back to the friendly confines with Len and Bob.
All right, Cap, thank you. Jaime Garcia. You could already, I guess, put him in the Cy Young mix, so it's very early. His ERA after 4 innings today on the season down to 1.82. Team in trailing only Josh Johnson among the ERA leaders as he's trying to notch his 5th win already. As Alfonso Soriano digs in, Bob. Got a good on this date. A lot of Cub fans remember 1970, 41 years ago today. Ernie Banks hit his 500th career home run. Off Pat Jarvis here at Wrigley Field. Jarvis with the Atlanta Braves. Here we go. Soriano takes a fastball inside.
Got another one for you this day in baseball history. Back in 1998, playing for the Cubs, one of the all-time favorites, Mark Grace. As Soriano rips one into left field for a leadoff base hit. Gracie, playing for the Cubs, hit the very first ball to land in the swimming pool at then Bank One Ballpark in Arizona. Now, he played for me after that and never came close to hitting one in the pool. Come on, Gracie.
Castillo struck out on his first at bat. Kick in the 0-1. Rasmus cruising. One away, and that'll bring up Tyler Colvin in Russell's spot. Hey fans, tickets. Don't miss your opportunity to get the Best Buy pack at Wrigley Field. 4 tickets, 4 drinks, and 4 hot dogs. Starting at just $80 for the series with the Mets, Pirates, and Astros. For more details and to purchase your Best Buy pack, visit Cubs.com/BestBuyPack. Russell went 2/3 of an inning in relief of Casey Coleman. We see Justin Berg in the 6th. Some injury updates. Chris Young, right-hander with the Mets, is going to have surgery to repair a torn anterior capsule in his right shoulder. He's had a real tough time staying healthy here lately. Ike Davis is now on the DL with a leg injury. Kendry Morales is going to have surgery on his left ankle. Continues to give him problems, so he's done for the season. Pujols will throw and get the lead man. The relay not in time. Yeah, that was that injury, Bob, that Morales suffered after hitting the game-ending home run. His teammates were waiting around home plate. He jumped, landed, broke his ankle, missed the rest of last year, and he's had all kinds of problems since.
Len, on your this day in baseball history, Ernie Banks' 500th home run. Did you see the attendance here at Wrigley Field for that game?
I did not.
5,264 fans.
Things certainly have changed as Jay battles his son and makes a catch to retire Castro and the Cubs in the 5th. A 5-hit shutout to this point for Jaime Garcia, 6-0.
This moment in patriotism is brought to you by USAA.
When we won the championship, I thought about how the strength my father showed in serving his country was the same strength he instilled in me.
USAA, we know what it means to serve.
The Chicago Cubs strongly encourage the use of public transportation. The CTA offers a variety of options, including the Red Line, which stops right at Wrigley Field at the Edison Station. If you must drive, try the remote parking operation at DeVry University, located near the Edison and Rockwell intersection. The remote lot offers parking and an express bus for just $6. For more details, call the CTA hotline at 773-836-7000 or visit Cubs.com. Saturday on Comcast Sportsnet Plus, the Chicago Fire look to put the burn on Toronto FC. Tune in for MLS action live from Toronto. The Fire battle Toronto FC Saturday night at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. Fans' best friend.
Hi.
Hon, we still on for dinner?
Oh, I can't. You know I've got the bar exam.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. Okay, one more time. This bar means the Coors Light is cold, and this bar, the Coors Light is super cold. Congrats, you just passed the bar exam.
Introducing new Super Cold Activation from Coors Light. With 2 stages, you'll know when your beer goes from cold to super cold.
So you're a lawyer?
Huh? No. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Tomorrow, the Cubs take on last year's World Series champs in a day game at Wrigley. Coverage begins at 12:30 with Chevy Cubs pregame live. Don't miss Cubs Giants tomorrow at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Tomorrow afternoon, hang with Comcast Sportsnet at the Coors Light Northside Baseball Viewing Party. Come by Austin's Saloon at 481 Peterson Road in Libertyville to win prizes. Enjoy Coors Light and watch the Northsiders take on last year's champs here on CSN. Be there tomorrow at Austin's in Libertyville. Threat of rain at some point this afternoon. We've been fine to this point. Sun is shining, hot and humid, as right-hander Justin Bird takes over in the 6th.
Saw Justin for an inning and a third in the ball game last night. Struck out a couple of Cardinals, zeros otherwise across the board.
1 pitch, 1 out as he gets John Jay to ground out. A strike on Alan Craig. See the story a few days ago. Hall of Fame manager Earl Weaver is going to auction off 47 items from his memorabilia collection, including his 1966 World Series ring and jerseys he received as gifts from Eddie Murray and Cal Ripken Jr. The reason he's doing it, he has 4 children, said they have children, their children have children, and he doesn't know how to divide up what he has. He's going to turn 81 later this summer, so he figured it's best just to get rid of the stuff. We'll divide the cash and do it that way. Yeah, it's kind of tough to give one child a half of a jersey and half of it to another.
Or one child get the autographed Eddie Murray jersey and the other child gets the giveaway hat.
He's also kind of worried that you know, he's got all this stuff that he's got to secure, and he's worried about it getting stolen at some point. Well, you know, I have no problem with it. And the other part of it is, Bob, fans out there who have the wherewithal to spend thousands of dollars for this memorabilia, they'll buy it and they'll get to enjoy it and show it off. The auction, I think, starts on Saturday. I believe, yeah, it's in Chicago at the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame. That's the live portion of the auction this weekend. A plaque that has the baseball that Earl Weaver threw as a ceremonial first pitch before Cal Ripken tied Lou Gehrig's consecutive games played streak will be available. The World Series ring in '66, he was actually the manager at AAA Rochester at the time. He's going to keep the 1970 World Series ring that he got as the manager of the Orioles. Castillo with a nice catch over near the Cardinal on deck circle.
I don't know about you, Len, but every now and then when I need a little laugh as we take a look at Wellington Castillo ultimately making a basket catch, tracked it all the way into the glove, cradled it against the chest protector, but I like to go on YouTube and type in Earl Weaver arguing with umpires and just look at all the different videos and some of the sound on tape that they had back in the day of Earl Weaver arguing with umpires. It is priceless. You're no good. You're no good, Earl. Nah, you're no good.
You hear the crowd get excited in the background as he turns his cap around.
And then he'll turn and walk away a couple of steps and then think of something else he wanted to stay and go back and continue the argument. Oh, man, he's a piece of work.
Earl was way ahead of his time. I mean, he was talking about things that we didn't really talk about in the mainstream in terms of offensive ideology until the last 10 or 15 years. Be conservative with a running game. Wait for the 3-run homer.
Which worked for Earl because he had a lot of guys that hit 3-run homers. Great pitching.
Swinging bunt. That is going to stay fair. Bird probably should have let it go, but I don't think it was going to kick foul.
I don't think it was going to, but really at that point there's no purpose in picking that ball up. You just hope maybe it He hits a chunk of dirt or something and kicks into foul territory. It's going to stay fair. That's pretty sure of that. But once you let it roll that far, you might as well let it roll until it stops, just to see if you might get lucky.
Time for our Xfinity high-speed action. Matt Holliday with his 5th homer of the season. First pitch of the top of the second.
No doubter to straightaway left field out onto Waveland Avenue. It had been a relatively quiet series for the league's leading hitter up until that home run.
Underway in San Francisco, Daniel Hudson and Matt Cain. As we mentioned, no Buster Posey. And the Giants lineup, they will pack their bags and fly to Chicago after that one for a weekend series with the Cubs. With 0-0 in the second. Being delayed in Denver. John Neese and Ubaldo Jimenez, the scheduled starters. Jimenez still without a win.
And talking about Buster Posey, on this day in baseball history, 2008, Buster Posey played all 9 positions for Florida State. A 10-0 victory over Savannah State, including pitching. Faced 2 hitters, struck them both out in the 7th inning. Started behind the plate, ultimately worked his way around to right field.
Castro just couldn't get it. Back-to-back singles with 2 outs. Only pitch over the plate in that at bat.
Just over Starlin Castro's glove on into left field. Boy, that ball was hit extremely hard, almost handcuffed Soriano, standing out there about 320 feet away from home plate.
When it's all said and done, I mean, looking not just next year, but 5, 6, 7 years down the road, this guy's probably the centerpiece of the Cardinals offense. Now, Matt Holliday has a long-term deal. We talked about the uncertain future in St. Louis of Albert Pujols. Ground ball, Carlos Pena, and he'll take it to first unassisted. 2 hits, no runs. Last of the 6th, the Cubs try to get on the board against Garcia.
Wow, Bear season was incredible, but it was absolutely freezing. So Wrigleyville Sports helped me warm up for Bull season. They were on fire all year long. Then came the Blackhawks, and they got hot too. But now the boys of summer are back, and it's time to head to the South Side. On second thought, it's a perfect day to get some sun in the bleachers.
Saturday on Comcast Sportsnet Plus, the Chicago Fire look to put the burn on Toronto FC. Tune in for MLS action live from Toronto. The Fire battle Toronto FC Saturday night at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. Fans' best friend.
In the Old West, things were settled the old-fashioned way. A duel, just one-on-one. At Montana Jack's, we believe it should be that way again. Just you and our soon-to-be famous USDA prime meat steaks. Grilled to perfection, served along with our salad bar and potato, just the way you like it. It's time for a showdown. Montana Jack's, 5400 27th Street, Moline.
How can a 94-year-old green guy save you money during the recession? He can check out your comfort system for free and tell you how to save money on energy efficiency. J.L. Brady has been offering the best HVAC service in Iowa and Illinois since 1915, and they can show you how to go green and save up to 30% on heating and cooling expenses. A system like that could pay for itself in less than 2 years. They're family-owned, and after all these years, still doing it the Brady way, the right way.
Sportsnet, now part of the NBC Sports Group.
After the game, stick around for Coors Light Cubs post-game live. David Kaplan and Todd Hollinsworth will break down the game and preview the Cubs' next matchup. Don't miss Coors Light Cubs post-game live immediately following the game. Right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Cardinals making a defensive change. Nick Punto is in for Alan Craig at second. Joe Patini figuring I should have enough offense at this point, trying to improve the defense. Darwin Barney looks at a strike. He's flied out twice. Two-time Gold Glover Albert Pujols makes that routine play. Cubs top prospect Brett Jackson at Double-A Tennessee suffered a finger injury a couple of nights ago. Hopefully he won't be out long. Tennessee 19-14, a half game out of first. Trey McNutt on the mound today with a 2.55 ERA against Huntsville. Daytona Cubs actually lost a game, snapping their 8-game winning streak as Marlon Byrd continues his hit streak. It's now at 13 and counting.
A soft line drive into left field on a cutter. I'll tell you what, Marlon Byrd doesn't miss many pitches up in the strike zone. Pitches up around the belt, even a little bit higher. Even when he gets jammed, he's strong enough to muscle that ball into the outfield and continues his hitting streak.
Lefty Jeffrey Lorick starting in Jupiter for the Daytona Cubs, 2-0 with a 1.96 going into that start. Base hit right field, Aramis Ramirez. And the second time today the Cubs have had 2 runners on.
Fastball on the outside corner, actually pretty much in the middle of the plate. Looked like it was away because Ramirez goes that way with it, muscles it over the head of Punto. A soft line drive to left by Byrd, now a soft line drive to right by Aramis Ramirez. How about a bolt out onto Waveland Avenue by Jeff Baker?
Cardinal pitching coach Dave Duncan. Garcia ready. The kick in the 1-1 is buried in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike.
Jeff Baker looks a little hitterish. He already has a couple of singles in this ball game. Immediately identified that changeup out of the hand of Garcia, laid off, ball bounced in the dirt, didn't even think about offering at it.
A lot of pitchers, and you're allowed now to go to your mouth, lick your fingers on the mound. You cannot be on the pitching rubber when you do it. You have to wipe it off. Garcia, if you notice, he grabs a pile of dirt and wipes it off on that left pant leg as he gets ready for a 3-1. Up the middle, Baker's 3 for 3. Here comes Bird, and the Cubs are on the board. It's 6-1.
Haven't seen Jeff Baker for a while. He's been troubled a little bit by a shoulder injury, but certainly doesn't seem to be bothering him a bit today. Facing one of the hottest pitchers in the National League, and he's 3 for 3 with an RBI.
Lefty against lefty, the pitch. Ball 1. Wind has completely shifted, blowing in, not very hard from right. Nobody throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. That probably will change here as Garcia struggling for the first time.
Lefty on lefty, you would expect Pena to take a strike here if Garcia throws one in the strike zone, but all bets are off on that 3-1 pitch.
Pena asks for time.
Had to happen sooner or later. Carlos Pena does that at least once a ball game, especially if he feels that opposing pitcher's in a good rhythm out there on the mound. He'll wait until the guy's just about ready to go into his set position and then request time.
Ooh. Yeah, really good rip at that one. 3-2.
Garcia challenging with a four-seam fastball out over the plate and up a little bit. One of the best swings we've seen Pena take in a while. He was right on that pitch, fouled it straight back.
Fastball to load the bases. First walk Issued by Garcia as Dave Duncan is out. We will see some action in the Cardinal pen. Watch Comcast Sportsnet game replays on demand with Xfinity TV from Comcast. Don't miss the action. Call 1-800-XFINITY today. Jason Mott is up in the bullpen.
Mateo beginning to crank it up for the Cubs as we sneak up on that 9 spot in the batting order.
Soriano with a couple of singles, a run in. They still trail by 5, but here's the pitch. It's low. This is a chance the Cubs have been waiting for.
It just seems so odd. A guy that was in so command of this game up until this inning suddenly can't find the strike zone. Forced to go with this fastball in the middle of the plate after falling behind in the count.
And a pop-up on the right side. Infield fly rule in effect. Punto the catch, 2 outs.
Elevated fastball right at the top of the strike zone at 90 miles an hour. Soriano just a little bit late. Couldn't get that big heavy bat to the spot quickly enough and pops it harmlessly to the right side of the infield.
Strike to Wellington Castillo. Swing that time and he missed it. 0-2.
Really tough sun on the right side of the field defensively right now. You saw Nick Punto on that pop-up really battling the sun. Should give John Jay out there in right field some issues as well if you can get one up in the air that direction.
2 on the way, a swing and a miss, and the Cubs leave the bases loaded. They can only get 1. They had Garcia up against the ropes. We'll head to the 7th. 6-1 Cardinals.
Get a great looking lawn like this, but trying to grow grass from seed in tough areas like deep shade, along the driveway, and where the kids play can be a little intimidating. Until now, with Scott's Easy Seed. It's Scott's best grass seed, starter fertilizer, and a growing material that absorbs water and expands to surround and protect the seeds. You'll get a thick, green Scott's lawn even if you've never been successful with other seed before. The revolutionary Scott's Easy Seed. Grow grass anywhere.
Welcome to the big leagues. Comcast Sportsnet gets you up to speed. Catch us on Sportsnet Central or CSNChicago.com. Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Better write that down.
Join us at the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation's Best of Illinois with the Chicago Cubs, May 19th at Wrigley Field. Guests will enjoy exclusive access and a tribute to Ron Santo. For tickets or to make a donation, visit jdrfillinois.org.
Let's go after the DMV. It's okay that we're number 403. We'll find ourselves a comfy seat and watch some shows and stuff. Let's follow that lady with the laptop.
Now you can watch hit TV shows on your laptop with Uverse Online and on your smartphone with Uverse Mobile, included with most plans. Or get Uverse TV for as low as $29 a month for 6 months. In the network, you can take entertainment with you.
When Ernie Banks wants Chicago's best prime steaks, he heads to Harry Carey's Italian Steakhouse in Chicago, Lombard, or Rosemont. Call 773 Holy Cow or visit harrycareys.com today. Yummy.
Oh, man. That is not fair. I say it every time we show that promo. It's your mouth water.
Award-winning journalist Bill Curtis back on the air doing the local news here in Chicago, and he will conduct the 7th inning stretch coming up. Molina is 2 for 3 with a double and RBI, also hit into a double play. To say one of the early leaders in the NL Comeback Player of the Year race, right-hander Charlie Morton of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He'll face John Garland of the Dodgers tonight. Morton is 4-1 with a 3.13 ERA last year, 2-12 with a 7.57.
Seems like it, but we're rapidly sneaking up on the quarter mark of this season. It always seems like early in the season you keep saying, well, it's early, we have plenty of time, it's early, we have plenty of time, and before you know it, the All-Star break is right around the corner, and you got to figure out how to get yourself back into the pennant race.
Molina literally threw his bat at that pitch.
Our old buddy Mike Krukow will be coming into town this weekend with the San Francisco Giants as part of their broadcast crew, and he would never ever do what we just saw Justin Berg do. Hand the bat back to the batter.
What would he have done? Walk off the back of the mound and just
let the bad boy come get it, or you come get it yourself. I'm not going to hand you the weapon you're going to try to beat my brains in with. He wouldn't even let me pick up a bat for a hitter if it happened to be a foul ball or something. The batter would come back to the plate. He said leave it on the ground, make him bend over. Maybe he'll wrench his back when he goes over to pick it up and have to come out of the game.
Fly ball to left. Deep. Soriano on the warning track, but it's going to be off the wall. Molina barely missing a home run. With that jutting basket, he hit it just below that area and has his second double and third hit of the day. That ball was in the air a long time.
Yeah, it looked like Soriano had a chance to get back to the vines right there. Took a quick peek, gets to the warning track, took another peek. The ball hit about head high on the wall right behind where he decided to pull up.
Scalzo will get the runner to third with now 1 out. And it brings up Tyler Green. Infield drawn in with the Cubs trailing by 5. Inside ball one. Garcia is on deck and probably will take the at bat. He's only thrown 70 pitches, even though he really labored in the bottom of the 6th. So even if the Cardinals shorten him up after a complete game, he still has a few more bullets in his repertoire. Line shot to right. Green knocks in Molina, and he'll get the second. The speedy Tyler Green with a double. It's 7-1.
Sinker up and out over the plate at 87 for Tyler Green. Nice piece of hitting to stay on that ball and drive it to the opposite field. Well, under different circumstances, you'd really have to keep an eye on Tyler Green at second base. As you mentioned, Len, he is very speedy, probably the fastest runner on this Cardinals roster.
Cardinals having the sort of day the Cubs had last night. Just about everybody in this lineup with at least one hit. Among the starters, only Descalzo, the third baseman, is hitless.
Hitless, but he has hit a couple balls hard to the right side, including that ground ball to move Molina on to third base. Productive out, moving a runner to third base with less than 2 outs.
In the air, Castro with a beat on it, but Bird's going to grab it. And that'll be it for Justin Bird. Mike Quaddy is going to make a double switch. He's going to bring Graybo in to face the left-handed hitting John Jay. And Reed Johnson will come in for Alfonso Soriano. Honda call to the pen. 7-1 St. Louis.
Hello? Jimmy John's?
Jimmy John's.
That's fast.
Jimmy John's, freaky fast delivery.
I know what you're thinking. Leather-trimmed command center. Almost 300 horsepower. Infinity surround sound. Seating for 7. Wait, this is a minivan? Makes you almost want to have kids. Almost. The new 2011 Dodge Grand Caravan.
For the first time ever, get 0% APR for 60 months or $2,000 cash allowance on select 2011 Grand Caravan models.
Chicago, once a land of trails and rivers, now a vital world-class city. At Bank of America, we live and work here with thousands of employees, hundreds of branches, and hundreds of ATMs. Every day, we're working to help set opportunity in motion, from supporting the Cubs and the Chicago Symphony Orchestra to local businesses that drive our economy. Because when you're giving, lending, and investing in more communities across the country, more opportunities happen.
A Honda call to the pen. It's veteran lefty John Graybo. Done a nice job against lefties. 1 strike to John Jay. Reed Johnson playing left, and he will lead off the bottom of the 7th from the 9 spot.
Well, then we talk about pitchers in their windup. Watch John Jay's hands as he gets ready to hit. He has a windup of his own. Starts the bat forward, then takes it back and lifts it up into a more traditional hitting position, all part of his timing mechanism. It's a lot of movement, though. Hitting coaches usually don't like to see that much movement with your hands.
Base hit into center. Throw to the plate. Green trying to score, and he'll get in with his hand around the tag of Castillo. Well, it looked like Green took a quick look over his shoulder. Not sure why with 2 outs. Still had enough speed to get to the plate. But it's not just the Cubs. We see players on every team do this.
A lot of players don't pick up the coaches at first and third, and on this particular play as a base runner, the on-deck hitter is supposed to be the guy to help you, let you know which direction to slide, whether you can come in standing up. Unfortunately for the Cubs, Tyler Green with just too much speed, even looking over his shoulder coming down the third baseline, he's able to outrun that throw to home plate.
Jay moved to second on the throw. Jay with 3 RBIs and 3 hits today. Punto, switch hitter, batting right-handed first at bat. And he's done damage so far in the series. 4 hits, including a double, a triple, and has scored 3 runs.
All those hits coming out as a left-handed hitter, where he is considerably better than the right side where he is now. A .297 hitter as a lefty, 154 as a righty.
Giants have grabbed a lead. They're in the 3rd inning. Single tally in the second. 1-0 over Arizona. Nate Scherholtz with an RBI single. That ball popped right out of the mid of Castillo. Should be a passed ball. Called a wild pitch.
I mean, it wasn't a good pitch, certainly up and into Nick Punto, but I think that's a ball Wellington Castillo will even tell you that he should make a play on right there.
Changeup outside. Full count, 3-2. Pujols would hit next.
That's something we have to keep in mind with Wellington Castillo until he gets more playing time behind the plate. He hasn't seen a lot of these pitchers. He hasn't seen any of these pitchers really since spring training.
Fair ball. And Punto has another extra base hit, his 3rd of the series, 5th hit of the set, as they are now pouring it on. 3 in the inning, 9-1.
Just inside the stripe, down into the left field corner. I'll tell you, Len, watch Nick Punto from afar all that time he had up in Minnesota with the Twins. This guy's a pretty good looking ball player. He seems to fit the mold of what the Cardinals look for.
Backhanded by Castro. And they get Pujols to end the inning. Bill Curtis with the stretch.
He's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, legendary journalist Bill Curtis.
Okay, everybody, let's have a little fun. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root, root, root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs.
soon enough.
Thor is awesome. 4 stars. Thor, rated PG-13.
What happened to tequila? These days, it's all velvet ropes and posturing. I don't know about you, but when I drink it, I really like to kick back and be myself. Oops. 1800 tequila. Changed the game.
Steve just won the $1,000 a week for life instant game. And got himself a new suit.
I'm good.
Getting $1,000 a week every week means his life is worth more than ever. As long as he keeps living, we keep giving.
Hey, babe.
$1,000 a week for life. The longer you live, the more you get.
9-1 Cardinals, bottom of the 7th, and great to have our good friend Bill Curtis with us in the booth.
I'm just sorry it's the highlight of the game.
Yeah, it's been a tough one today, Bill. You always do a great job. You get a great ovation when you sing the stretch, but you always come with gifts as well.
Well, I like to pitch the Cubs over. I wanted to see because last year they threw them back. So I had a little question on whether to do it this year. And I always want to look over and make sure I didn't hurt anybody down there, but they're soft.
Reed Johnson with a fair ball. It went over the bag, and he'll end up at second base with a leadoff double.
That's a good start.
Cubs now with 9 hits. That's a season high allowed by Jaime Garcia.
And we've seen Garcia make a few mistakes in the strike zone the last couple of innings. Unfortunately, the Cubs could only cash it in for 1 run back in the 6th, but a leadoff double here by Reed Johnson in the 7th. Hopefully paving the way for big things.
Bill, tell us about your reunion with your good longtime partner Walter Jacobson on the
Walter,
Channel 2 News.
you know, is right at home because he was once a Cubs bat boy, and for 2 years actually. So we want to get him out here. It's been fun, you know, like going around all over again.
Was it a strike?
I think it was. Yeah, just caught the corner there. But you know, it's different because the technology is so advanced. So we have to learn computers, Walter, from scratch. I was just a little bit further along. But it allows instant coverage of news, editing, makes it all slicker. We hopefully can give a little perspective to the stories and look at the context. For instance, we'll have a new mayor on Monday reflecting on Mayor Daley, who really is a Michael Jordan of his craft, going out on top. There you go.
Bobbled.
Safe.
Oh,
no.
Just got him at first.
I would say that's a little close.
Tyler Green with a couple of bobbles. No argument from Bob Dernier or from Castro. We, of course, get the benefit of replay. Safe.
Of course, we look at it with biased eyes, Bill. I'm sure you saw it the same way I did. He was way safe.
Okay, here we go again. Touches and catches. Okay, that's pretty clear to me. Can they reverse?
They can't on that play. The only replay reversal would be on a controversial home run, a border call. And that's been a hot topic of maybe having other plays be reviewable, like catches in the outfield.
They may be saying, well, they're down 9-1 anyway. What difference will it make?
Well, I think Bob can tell you that, you know, those are the types of plays you just never know if you do get the benefit of the call. And the 0-1 to Barney is in the dirt. Now, Bill, you have done the voiceover for not only the Wrigley Field tour video, but the new community relations video, which really will bring a tear to your eye. Hopefully we can play it on a pregame show coming up later this season. And the Cubs do wonderful work in the Chicago community.
Listen, I was doing the narration for that video, and I had to stop right in the middle. There's a young woman who was in a wheelchair, swinging at a ball, having a lot of fun, but she had spina bifida and has to crawl up the stairs to the 2nd floor, where her parents are unemployed and they eat from a pantry. and yet they're supported by the Cubs, probably a lifeline for them. I was as moved in that video as any. Well, look at that.
What a pick by Punto on the backhand to get Darwin Barney.
So my hat off to them.
And now Marlon Byrd will dig in, and every time we talk to you, we talk about all those bizarre cold cases and interesting criminal justice scenarios over the last several decades in American history, and your voice is on pretty much all of them. I can't turn it off, Bill, when I hear your voice.
Well, it's I'm glad, but the cold case files just don't go away, do they? And of course, Chicagoans. Bill Peterson was on CSI. Now Gary Sinise on CSI New York.
Opposite foul.
This is a good home for all that, and it will always be popular, I think.
I'll tell you, Bob, Bill is the greatest tease artist in voiceover history every time you go to break on cold case. But there would be an interesting twist in this story.
But you haven't heard anything.
You can't turn it off.
Can't turn it off now.
The pregnant pause.
Yeah, I thought I had this case figured out, but now I got to stay tuned.
Wouldn't be so simple, would it? There's the 0-1, and that is low. You're talking about instant news, and just chatting with Mike Quaddy and some of the Cubs players. They now realize that whatever they say before the game, it might be in the paper tomorrow, but it will be on the internet, on Twitter, within about 10 minutes.
And the texting controversy, yeah. They have to be very, very careful, and it goes worldwide. That's the crazy thing.
Guys getting texts. What did you just say? What do you mean, what did I just say?
And of course, the story of the news now are these flash mobs that started when the commercial just had everybody kind of suddenly do a dance in the middle of the airport. Now people are coming down and flashing their friends to let's go over here and maybe shoplift or crowd in, and they've been caught pushing people into the lake. And that's kind of the latest vandalism, all allowed by social networking.
Well, Bob and I won't be flashing anybody. You don't have to worry about that.
Actually could help the game.
I don't know, Bill.
This game.
It would be memorable for sure.
They'd be looking this way instead of that.
Swing and a miss, and that will end the inning. Bill, always a pleasure, and don't be a stranger.
Okay, call me when you flash. Thank you.
Curtis.
Got it. Don't be the last to know. Get it faster with 4G. It's the network of possibilities. AT&T.
Will help? Thanks.
Hi. Can you get my back?
Head to your local retailer for specially marked packages of Corona and Corona Light. Find a custom wrapped Corona bottle or can inside, and you could win the trip of a lifetime.
I'm Bill Wennington, and I took my share of body blows playing for the Bulls. But that was nothing compared to the hit I took when I learned my sister had cancer. She was only 38, and my whole world turned upside down. If this happens to you, contact the American Cancer Society right away. Their free, hands-on support gives patients their best shot at getting well. Today, my sister's a survivor. If someone you love is fighting cancer, get the American Cancer Society on your team.
Know a newborn Cubs fan? The Newborn Fan Club is the perfect gift to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo announcing the birth on the Wrigley Field marquee, a Cubs birth certificate, Cubs baby stocking cap, and a Cubs Rookie of the Year onesie. Perfect for parents and friends alike. Visit Cubs.com for more information and to sign up today.
Apt Happy birthday to our good friend Randy Scose, the Cubs coordinator of office services. 29 again.
Again?
Again. Swing and a miss by Matt Holliday. Bob, next time you order a pizza on the road, you should call Bill Curtis and have him phone it in. I would like a medium deep dish, but wait, there's more. I would like extra pepperoni. Bill's a good guy. We always enjoy chatting with him.
Wish a happy birthday to Abby Butcher here at the ballpark today. Also happy birthday to Carly Abbott and Lexi Hayes from Vicky Swaggart. Happy birthday to all.
Well, let's look ahead to the weekend with the Giants coming in. They're playing their best ball of the early season after kind of a middling start. Madison Bumgarner comes into tomorrow 0-5, but he's getting no run support. Ryan Dempster at 1-4, a game here on CSN. A rare Saturday evening game, as Ryan Vogelsong, a right-hander, 2-0 with the Giants, kind of making a major league comeback. And Doug Davis will make his Cubs debut coming up from AAA Iowa, and then Tim Lincecum and Carlos Zambrano. That should be a fun one on Sunday. Swing and a miss. Holiday fans.
And the damage we've seen Holiday do in this series have been on pitches down in the strike zone. John Grabo gets him to chase up the ladder with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, and Holiday this time comes up empty.
We'll talk more about it tomorrow when the Giants are actually here. But in that chemistry leading to winning, or the other way around, Rasmus with his third hit. That's a double. I'm not saying the Giants won the World Series because they're a bunch of crazed 15-year-olds, but they had probably more fun than any World Series champion in the history of the game. I mean, guys like Aubrey Huff with the rally thong, the beard, Brian Wilson. And you look back on that team, the team that went to the World Series under Dusty Baker in 2002, and a team dominated by Barry Bonds. They just seemed to be almost the complete opposite of those clubs, and that they just had an incredible amount of fun.
I had the opportunity to do the postseason games between the Giants and the Braves last year, Len, and you know as well as I do, you go down to any major league clubhouse and there's a group of guys sitting over in this corner maybe playing some cards, and a group of guys over in another corner maybe talking about hitting or working on their bats or something. A bunch of guys maybe in the training room or the lunch room. But when we walked into that Giants clubhouse, everybody was sitting in the middle of the room. Now they had something playing on TV, Caddyshack or something. I'm not sure exactly what it was. And it was really immaterial what was on the television. They were ragging on each other. They were making fun of each other. Tim Lincecum was doing a little karaoke dance in front of the TV. I hadn't seen anything like that for a long time in a major league clubhouse. That cohesiveness, that unity, and they were having fun. And that was postseason baseball. You would have thought it was a Tuesday night game, in the middle of the season against nobody. As loose as they could possibly be.
And they would win the first World Series championship as the San Francisco Giants.
That's when Bruce Bochy told me that Tim Lincecum is the Rain Man of music. He knows the words to Broadway show tunes, country songs, rap songs, classic rock, R&B. He says, you name it, if you put a song on your iPod, he'll know the words to it, regardless of what the genre.
Wow.
The Rain Man of music, he called it.
Well, he's the freak when he's on the mound. 1-1-2. Descalzo's outside. Well, hopefully they won't have much fun this weekend.
Yeah.
State crowd today, 32,559. And here's a 3-1 pitch and a rocket into the glove of Aramis Ramirez. That'll end the inning. Nicely done by Ramirez. 9-1 Cardinals to the last of the 8th.
Another victim of frequent flyer red tape.
Seat restrictions got him stuck in a vicious circle.
It's just not right.
I keep earning miles, but it seems like I can never use them.
The all-new Rapid Rewards doesn't have any of that nasty red tape.
Here he comes again.
Let's set him free.
Join Rapid Rewards and enjoy unlimited reward seats, no blackout dates, and no red tape.
You can depend on the staff at Ace Muffler Clinic in Rock Island to keep your car running its best. We've got the expertise and we'll get you taken care of now. Call Ace Muffler Clinic for any problem with your vehicle. Our free estimates give you the information you need to keep your vehicle running smooth and safe. For your convenience, we're open 7 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 7 to 12 on Saturday. For brakes, tires, exhaust, and shocks, and a whole lot more, see us for fast, friendly service on all import and domestic vehicles. Serving the Quad Cities since 1955, Ace Muffler Clinic in Rock Island.
Dahl, Ford, and the Quad Cities. A perfect match for over 73 years. Ford sets the pace with industry-leading quality and cutting-edge technology. The Dahl family brings a history of integrity and guest service. And the Quad Cities has always been a great place to live and do business, especially Ford business. Dahl, Ford, and the Quad Cities. A perfect match for over 73 years. This is Dahl Ford Country, home of 120% Kelley Blue Book for your trade.
Watching Comcast Sportsnet, now part of the NBC Sports Group.
Hi, I'm David Kaplan with the Suzuki Sportsnet Central update. With a win over the Hawks tonight in Atlanta, Bulls will move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll preview the Game 6 matchup later today on Chicago Tribune Live at Sportsnet Central. When the game goes final, Stacey King, Kendall Gill join Mr. NBA Mark Shanowski. They'll be here for BMW Bulls post-game live. Right now, though, back to Len and Bob at Wrigley.
Dave, thanks. Mitchell Boggs, right-hander, in for Jaime Garcia, whose ERA went down to 1.89. It was 7 innings, 9 hits, only 1 run. The pitch to Ramirez misses low and outside.
Cubs didn't have a lot of opportunities against Garcia in the game today, but certainly that 6th inning they're going to look back and say, what if? 3 base hits and a walk, but only could generate 1 run, left the bases loaded once again.
A little bit of a risk on the part of Tony La Russa and Joe Patini, putting Alan Craig at second base. Very little experience there for Craig, but he reached base twice, hit a sac fly. Cardinals with 16 hits, 9 runs, and Garcia's been brilliant. Big 5-run second. Let's see where this one got Yadier Molina. Ooh, left knee.
Left knee.
Up off of first. Pujols has it. Time for a Home Depot doing more on defense. Cubs turning a 4-6-3 double play to end the 3rd inning. Barney and Castro teaming up.
Great body control by Starlin Castro. Strong throwing arm from an awkward angle. Turned it into a relatively easy double play.
We were talking with Joe Bettini before the game. He mentioned about Tony La Russa doing some unconventional things. We know that Tony, more than any other manager over the last 10 years, has hit the pitcher 8th. We haven't seen that in 2011, but there was a game where he said all 3 starting outfielders finished the game on the infield. I had never heard of that before.
No. And certainly Tony has taken his share of criticism over the years for some of the things that he does, but I've said it many times. A manager knows his own team better than anybody else. He sees them on a daily basis. He has a hand in putting the team together, and Tony knew the capabilities of his players and didn't hesitate, as you said, to bring his entire outfield into the infield later in the ball game.
Now, he has hit the pitcher 8th once, and that was Garcia on April 9th. The rest of the games, pitcher has batted last. First time Baker's made it out as he lines out to Pujols. We saw Lou Piniella keep Sean Marshall in the game. Moved him to left field during an inning. Anything unusual or out of the ordinary we love to talk about. Well, I can't for the life of me remember which team did the exaggerated shift against Carlos Pena, and they left the shortstop at his position, put the third baseman over on the other side. The Cubs did that in spring training with Jeff Baker. And just something different.
Was that the Diamondbacks maybe that did that?
Might have been Arizona, yeah.
Yeah, rather than move the shortstop on the second base side and have the third baseman try to cover the entire left side of the infield, they sent their third baseman over on the right side of the field and left Stephen Drew, the shortstop, to cover the left side of the infield. I think it was the Diamondbacks. I'm not sure.
We saw the Pirates under outfield coach Gary Varsho the last couple of years really bunch their outfielders, take away the gaps, give the lines. Barely foul. All these maneuvers don't necessarily work, but a lot of thought is put into the execution of those things. I think you would agree that whenever challenged or asked about anything in the game, why do you do this? The answer should never be because that's the way we've always done it. There should always be a reasoned, objective response for why everything happens. Swing and a miss. You know, the idea of a left-handed throwing catcher. We could sit here and say, well, it's just weird that you just haven't seen it, but there are reasons for it. And a lot of right-handed batters, so pickoff plays, throws to second. Kind of have to throw around that hitter.
Left-handers throws naturally will tail to the shortstop side of the bag, trying to throw out runners attempting to steal, obviously taking the ball further away from the sliding base runner.
The way catchers frame pitches, from particular pitchers rather. Not to say it won't happen again. Who's going to get it? Molina. Boy, just a nonchalant basket catch to end the inning. Molina, 3-time Gold Glover. They go down in order. We go to the ninth, 9-1.
Join Menards this week in saluting our American-made products with Menards Made in the USA sale. In 1990, Water Boss began manufacturing water softeners in Groveport, Ohio. Perfect for large families, this Big Boss 900 unit is only $399. Boss Indoor-Outdoor Carpet is made in Hampton, New Hampshire from 100% post-consumer recycled plastic bottles. Status is available in gray, brown, burgundy, navy, or green. 43 cents a square foot.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, Marcel, watch this.
Hey, Marcel, watch this.
Hey, Marcel, watch this.
Yeah, Marcel. Marcel!
Hey, Marcel. Are you listening to me? Marcel.
Only AT&T UVerse lets you follow your favorite channels on one screen. Just $29 a month for the first 6 months, DVR included. In the network, there are no hard choices.
Saturday on Comcast Sportsnet Plus, the Chicago Fire look to put the burn on Toronto FC. Tune in for MLS action live from Toronto. The Fire battle Toronto FC, Saturday night at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. Fans' best friend.
Luna, we get our second room free plus free financing.
Now I'm free. Free flooring.
It's time to love your floors. Luna's free flooring sale won't last. Call today.
773-202. Luna.
Blake DeWitt making his major league debut as an outfielder. He's now playing left. Reed Johnson moves to center. That means Marlon Byrd is out. Marmol will go into his spot. And according to the Baseball Cube, Blake DeWitt has never played the outfield as a pro. Not in the majors, not in the minors. Played all 4 infield positions in the minor leagues. Here's Tyler Green. I'll have to ask Blake if he ever played the outfield in high school. Well, if Sean Marshall can play left, you'd like to think Blake DeWitt can too.
Absolutely.
Right? Not taking anything away from Marshall.
I mean, it's not the same as playing left field during actual game action, but, you know, after the infielders take their ground balls every day and during batting practice, it's not unusual for them to wander out into the outfield grass and play some balls off the bat. So Blake DeWitt going to get a little taste of it here in the 9th inning.
Slider called strike 3. Marmol gets green. One thing for Blake DeWitt, you see the front door slider caught the corner, as he's wearing a glove that he had never worn before. And I wonder if it's his. Looks like there's a name stitched into the glove. Does it say Blake DeWitt? That's the question. Oh, I know it belongs to Wilson. There.
Just in case you weren't aware of it, outfielders' gloves are a lot longer and narrower, meant to be able to climb up above the wall or reach out in the gap and catch fly balls. Infielders' gloves are usually considerably smaller and wider, meant to field ground balls. First basemen obviously have their own glove over there at first, and the catchers have the mitt, but outfielders and infielders' glove completely different. And if you're not used to using an outfielder's glove, you tend to catch a lot of balls down in the palm of that outfielder's glove, because that's where you're used to catching it in the smaller infield glove.
Ooh, a little flinch by Kerwin Danley. And he did not give Marmol the call. 3-1 on the pinch hitter Mark Hamilton. That's a strike. 3-2. He struck him out swinging.
Pitcher's gloves, they can use pretty much anything, but you'll almost always see a closed web on a pitcher's glove. You don't want that batter to be able to watch you adjust your grip on the ball as you're getting your sign from the catcher. So I'd say about 99% of the pitchers use a closed web glove.
On the outside part of the plate, 1-1. Well, the Cardinals didn't miss Lance Berkman today. The fill-in, John Jay, with 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Speaking of unusual things that you don't normally see, I really hope, I think his name is Pat Venditte, Venditte, an ambidextrous pitcher who had been in the Yankees organization. I'd love to see him make the major leagues. Oh, lefty and righty. Harmel strikes out the side, bottom 9, 9-1 Cardinals.
Got it. Don't be the last to know. Get it faster with 4G. It's the network of possibilities. AT&T.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's really no place like home. So make your home the best vacation spot this summer with a new pool from The Great Escape. Save up to 50% on above-ground pool packages, all sizes and shapes to fit your backyard and budget. Get an 18-piece pool package with 0% financing for only $59 a month installed. Plus, store-wide savings on pool chemicals, toys, and accessories. Only at The Great Escape.
Every day, shop The Great Escape.
Hi.
Hon, we still on for dinner?
Oh, I can't. You know I've got the bar exam.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. Okay, one more time. This bar means Coors Light is cold, and this bar, the Coors Light is super cold. Congrats, you just passed the bar exam.
Introducing new Super Cold Activation from Coors Light. With 2 stages, you'll know when your beer goes from cold to super cold.
So you're a lawyer?
Huh? No. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Hey fans, next time you want to catch a Cubs game, head to StubHub, where you'll find the seats you want and the freedom to choose where you want to sit. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. For more information, visit Cubs.com/StubHub.
Right-hander Fernando Salas will make his first appearance in 4 days. Got his 3rd save of the year against Milwaukee on Sunday. Got the final out, a strikeout, picked up the save. Eduardo Sanchez, rookie right-hander, getting most of the save opportunities for the Cardinals, and this is not a save chance with an 8-run lead. That'll be Pujols unassisted. Who were those guys? Looked like Jesse Ventura on the right as a Blues Brother.
A good day to wear a coat to the ballpark. And painted on sideburns.
Castillo pops it up. This will be Descalzo. 2 quick ones. Reed Johnson will bat with 2 outs, nobody on here in the 9th. Cubs in danger of falling to 2-4 on this 9-game homestand.
Salas, spelled backwards, is Salas.
That's right. A palindrome. One strike on Reed Johnson. Fernando Salas backwards is Salas Adnanref. Diving stop. Green picks it up, gets the out, and the Cardinals take 2 of 3. 9 consecutive series without a series loss for the division leaders. So they improved to 22-16 as the Cubs dropped to 16-20. Final score, Cardinals 9, Cubs 1. And our GMC player of the game is Jaime Garcia, who improves to 5-0 on the year.
And he came as advertised. Had really good stuff in the ball game. Great command. Got in a little bit of trouble in that 6th inning, but was able to wiggle out of it. Only 1 run allowed. Outstanding job by Garcia today.
So he bests Casey Coleman. Coleman drops to 1-3. Cardinals will head to Cincinnati. The Cubs welcome in the defending champion San Francisco Giants starting tomorrow. That'll wrap up our game coverage, but we're not done yet. Coors Light post-game live is coming up next. Final again today, the Cardinals 9 and the Cubs 1. We're right back here tomorrow, 12:30 for pregame live. Bob and I hit the air at 1. It's the Giants and Cubs here on Comcast Sportsnet. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad.